right, y'all. Come on in here. And yes, I am still on my high from Colombia. Listen, if Colombia is not on your list of places to go, you best put it there. When I tell y'all I had the absolute best time in Colombia, man, we had a ball. Oh, look at everybody coming on in here. Hey everybody. Hey Bree at Cali Breeze. Hey lady. Let's see who else we have in here. Oh, look at everybody. Hi, Flawless Viva. Hey lady. Hola, Alex. Hey, everyone. Yes, I was saying that Colombia was so much fun and that you have to put it on your bucket list for sure. So how's everybody doing this Wednesday? Oh, my mom's here. Hey, Mommy. Hola, Mommy. Hey, Phyllis at PCPR_communications. Hello. Oh, ¿cómo estás? Alex asked me, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien, gracias, Alex. Muy bien, gracias. All right, Alex, I know you challenged me to do this opening in Spanish, so let's see what I can come up with, okay? Bienvenido a mi canal. Mi nombre es Tania y ahora es Vino Abajo Miércoles. ¿Cómo están? How'd I do, Alex? It's your fault, Alex. It's your fault. Hello. All right, everyone. So, welcome back to another edition of Wind Down Wednesday with my Lady of the Week. This week's topic is all about being a writer, the life of a writer. And it looks like my guest is on time. So I'm going to bring my Lady of the Week, Miss Nikki Gillis, into the wine room. But before we do that, guys, you all know the drill. Make sure we toast it up. Cling, 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 cling. All right, and I'm going to bring Miss Nikki Gillis into the wine room, everyone. Hold on for 3 on in here. I'm just so high, y'all. Just that vacation was everything. Hey, Nikki.
Hi, Tanya.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, girl. You look all pretty and everything.
Thank you. Thanks to my baby and my niece.
Look, they will get you right? The kids
they
will get you
will.
right.
They will.
Well, welcome to Wind Down Wednesday, and thank you so much for being my featured Lady of the Week.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, before we get started, we always want to make sure we do a little toast.
Okay.
Cling, 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 cling to a great conversation. Alrighty. I'm gonna drink. You didn't drink yours.
I got a little white muscadine. What you have?
I have some Riesling. So
okay.
I'm a white wine girl when I do dibble and dabble. So,
okay.
All right, Miss Nikki, can you please tell everyone who you are and where you're from?
Yes. I am Nikki Gillis, and I'm in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And I'm a ghostwriter or media specialist. Okay. Probably a combination of both.
Okay. And shout out to North Carolina in the house.
Yeah, NC all day.
Okay, so you just said you're a ghostwriter and a media specialist. I believe that everybody has a story to tell. Now, whether we can get that story from here to paper is one thing. So when did you first learn that you wanted to be a writer?
I actually knew I wanted to be a writer very early on. Writing as far back as in the first grade.
Wow.
Yeah, not really big on communicating or talking if the conversations didn't interest me, but you could always find me with a pen and pad somewhere writing. Okay. And then people reading it as early as elementary school and blown that I wrote that. So I've always been interested in writing, knew I wanted to be a writer. My problem was I wasn't ready to share it with the world, meaning writing for everybody, because that was my outlet. Okay. So trying to combine the two and say, hey, are you ready to open up and write for others? Share your secret that's so personal to you. My go-to when I'm going through issues or I'm dealing with problems, writing was my outlet. So I wasn't really ready. It took a while for me to get to that point to where I was like, okay, now I need to share my gift in writing especially for those who feel like writing isn't their forte, or
Mm-hmm.
being able to take the thoughts from your mind and put them on paper so that your audience can receive it or feel the same emotions that you did or take them back to their story. It's a lot of moving steps in that. So being able to train and be educated and get with the right people to help me do that over the years, it took a long time for me to come forward.
Okay, so you said you started and you knew early on, as early as the first grade. So
Mhm.
back then, what kinds of things were you writing about?
I actually got in trouble, believe it or not, on the first day of school in first grade
Uh
because I actually hit a guy. He actually messed up my book bag. And
huh.
so I hit him, and my teacher, she punished both of us and said that we needed to write. She wanted us to do an essay. So tell a first grader that you want them to write an essay when we're supposed to
Right.
be learning how to spell our name.
Right.
But she didn't know. For me, that was like, okay, game on. I'm ready. I'm
Okay.
ready. So she ended up giving me an A, and she didn't want to. So I knew then, but that I wanted to write a long time ago. But knowing that I could turn that into a profession and actually make money out of it, that took a while.
Right. So I know when you're writing, we're always looking for an angle. So why is it essential to have an angle when you're writing a story?
The angle is important because it goes back to what you were saying in the beginning. We all have a story, and
Right.
whether we should tell our story or not is a whole different case. But when you decide that you want to tell your story, it's important to know what angle you're going to tell it from, because it's the same as if you're having conversations with people and they ask you a direct question. They're expecting you to answer them directly and then move into other pieces. But if you go all around the world and back and forth, they lose focus, you lose focus. So it's the same with writing.
Hmm.
When you know the angle that you're coming out, you know the points that you want to stick to, you know what parts of your life experience that you need to put into that story so that it's relatable to your audience.
But how do you decide the parts that are important and what you think will be interesting to your audience? I find that that's probably maybe the hardest thing for a lot of people. They have the ideas, to your point, but it's figuring out which part of those ideas makes sense and will captivate the audience.
A lot of times, honestly, it's overthinking. You know, you have so many people tell you you need to tell your story, or oh my god, I was moved by your story. But when you think about it and you look at what everybody else doing, you're comparing that. And so
Mm,
you're thinking I need to beef up this part of my story, or maybe I need to tell that. But keeping your story as simple as it is, what if you don't have a rags to riches story?
right.
What if you just have a simple life and you knew what you wanted to do and you knew you wanted to go to school? Believe it or not, some people literally know those things right off and they follow through with it. It doesn't mean that you have to change or beef up the story or make it sound interesting in order to be relatable to people, which is important. So why you have to know your audience or who you're hoping that your story can relate to.
No, I'm
So
so
being
glad you
able to
said that.
pull those experiences from your life
Hmm.
in regards to that particular story, that is what would help you.
No, and I'm so glad that you started off when you said overthinking everything.
Yes.
Yeah,
Overthinking.
I say OTE. A lot of us suffer from OTE, the overthinking
Yes.
everything. And to
Yes.
your point, no, seriously, I've been writing something for probably over 10 years. I have the beginning, I have the middle, and I'm stuck on this ending. And to your point, and so what happens is then I start to go back
Yep.
to the beginning, and now I'm trying to tweak and change
You're
instead of
tweaking
leaving.
and you're taking it out, and yeah. Yep.
And so that is where I'm stuck, as far as the story is concerned. So why is it important? Do you feel like it's important when you're writing to have content that will draw the clicks from people? Are you interested in that, or are you just interested in writing a good story and worrying about those clicks later on?
I think it's important to really think about your story, and what parts of your experiences that you want to pull out of and talk about in regards to getting the clicks and getting them to stay on that story. Like, how long are they stand on that particular part or move into another part of your story. I think all of it's important, but it's strategy to it. So believe it or not getting caught up on the rough draft. Some people are perfectionists, and I'm a recovering perfectionist. So let me be the first one to say that sometimes we get stuck on the rough draft has to be perfect and it has to be this and that. The rough draft is really just that brain dump to get it all out your head. Everything that's going on and the different voices that's telling you, no, you need to include this and no, you need to include that. So getting it all out your head and then being able to go back, outline it, that's what's going to help you build your strategy, so to say, so that you can stick to the main point of what you really want to relate to your audience and being crystal clear about it. Because believe it or not, if you start off wrong, maybe telling the wrong parts of the story in the beginning, that really has nothing to do with those 3 points that you were hoping the audience would get throughout the book. If you start out with that, you can lose people right in the beginning. And that really good part in the middle, you were hoping they caught, or that part that you ended with that you really was hoping would stick with them, they already done closed the book or they're not interested in reading it.
Right. So is there a methodology when you're writing as far as where you start and how you traverse through the story? How do you go about doing when you sit down to write about something? Where do you start in that?
I'm a little different. I start with the end.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a little different. I start with the end. So starting with the end, focusing on when I write this blog, when I write this book, this feature, whatever it is that I'm writing, and if I'm doing it by myself or for someone, I'm starting with the end because my focus is what points do I want to get across to the reader? What do I want them to get from this piece that I'm writing and this content? So when I think about the end and how I'm ending it, even if I'm starting out with bringing out possibly one of my 3 points in the beginning, going back and being able to smoothly recap that. So it comes back up in their mind like, oh, okay, she did say this in the beginning. And my favorite thing is when you get with people that tell you, look, I'm being straight up with you. Writing ain't my thing. This is why I'm here with you.
Right.
I don't do that. But when you can take those same people and before they know it, they read it from beginning to end. And my thing is, okay, can you tell me at least 1 point that you got from it or 2? And oh yeah, when you said this part or when you said that part, that lets you know that you were really able to stick to your focus and bringing out what you needed, and then leave the reader with something to really think about in regards to their personal life and the decision that they need to make in the end of the story. So I like to start with the end.
Okay, so let me ask you, how do you, because you said you ghostwrite. So explain to everyone exactly what a ghostwriter is.
Okay. A ghostwriter is someone who is highly skilled in writing, able to cut down on the time that and the energy that it would normally take a person to write content. Normally, if it's a book, I would think would probably be the biggest thing that someone would write and hire a ghostwriter for. But being able to save you time and being able to convey your thoughts from your mind. So that's mainly the reasons why a person would hire a ghostwriter. And it's not always, some people have a bad idea of ghostwriting because they feel like it's not legal. I've heard a little bit of everything. They say it's not legal. It's not really your thoughts. It's not really your words. All of that is false. It depends on the writer that you're working with, because the whole idea is to take your thoughts and convey them into something that's readable and memorable for your audience. So that's where the writer would come in, and they're able to take what you're saying and they're able to translate it and put it in a sense that it's clickable, it's people are buying it left to right. That's pretty much what a ghostwriter is.
Okay, so you said something about taking the person's voice and conveying their story. How are you able to do that and not inject your own voice into their story?
Great question. How are you not, yes, great question. How are you able to stick to the author's voice? That takes time.
Okay.
I don't know one writer, in my opinion, that started out automatically knowing how to not inject your thoughts into that story, especially if it's a good story. You know, you want to help them, or you feel like you want to make the story maybe more interesting or more appealing, or
Right.
especially if they start talking about something that you can personally relate to,
Right.
then you're already in it. So that takes a skill set to be able to make the dedication and the discipline to yourself. Look, I got to tell myself over and over again, this is the author's story, not mine.
Right.
Author story, not mine.
Right.
Number one rule in my book of ghostwriting, you have to constantly tell yourself that it's not your story, it's the author's. And that's the purpose of, for me, I do recorded sessions. Prior to COVID, I would meet with my clients.
Okay.
So it's spending time with them, getting acquainted with their voice, meeting the people that's in their tribe. So the people that they're close to, being able to get their thoughts and what they feel and what they said in regards to the person's story, listening to those parts when they sound high and alive and up, but then
Mm-hmm.
when they check out, maybe it's a part of the story that they got that's bringing back some memories. It's a trigger for them. Being able to clue in on all of that helps you as a writer to be able to translate that story for them on paper. And
Yes.
it's a skill.
Right. So would you say what is the biggest misconception when it comes to being a ghostwriter?
I would say the biggest misconception, in my opinion, is that it's automatically our story, and it's not the author's story, because it is their story. You're just helping them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I have people that reach out to me as far as like wanting to write my blogs. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, one of my fears has always been like, it's not going to sound like me.
Are they
That's
going
not
to
something,
change your voice?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's not something I would say. I wouldn't use that word, you
Right.
know? So to your point, it, like you said, it takes skill, you know, somebody with, you know, a skill set to be able to take your voice and transcribe that onto paper, to get that done. So now you've written for, did I read 23 authors?
Yes. 23. Over the years that I've been ghostwriting, I've definitely have.
Okay.
Most of them have been private, confidential, NDA disclosed clients, but 23
Mm.
books.
So when someone is coming to you and they say they have this great idea and they want you to be their ghostwriter, what are you looking for in their story to help you say, okay, this is something I'd be willing to help you with?
What I'm looking for in their story is, where are they? Why do they feel like they need to tell it now?
Mm-hmm.
Because that goes back to your point that you said before. I meet so many people that have started a book. They have possibly got some document, Google Docs started or whatever, and it's
Mm-hmm.
sat there for 5, 10, 15 years. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, where is the disconnect and the dedication of going on and getting the book done? So I look for someone who's open. Where are they going now? Do they feel like they have it all, know it all? Are they still open to learning? Because people perceive you differently. So especially if you are, I don't really care for the word guru or experts,
Mm-hmm.
but if you're considered to be that, you can't change what people feel that you do. If you're someone that they feel that they get that information from, why would you feel like you need to tell your story now? Why have you waited so long? What are you looking for to do with the story? So that's when you get more into detail, and they'll say, hey, I know in order for me to get booked for speaking engagements and to be a keynote speaker, I need a book under my belt. I need a book
Right.
on my resume. So they know what the goal is that they want to do. And a book will do that for you and get you paid for those engagements. Some people say, hey, I'm not really looking for an ROI. I'm not looking for a return investment on it. I just want to heal and get this part of my life that I'm still dealing with out the way. So the best way for me to do that is to get this story out, to tell it exactly like it is, not leave out those pieces that the majority of the world tell me that I don't need, but to talk about those pieces, because that's what's going to be relatable to someone else. That's what's going to help the next person. So those are the things that I look for. Like, where are they willing to go with it now? Now that you know that you want to do it, you feel like you have a writer in your presence that you feel can help you tell your story, what is the end result? What are you looking for it to do with it?
Okay. Now you mentioned about being teachable.
Mm-hmm.
And so, so
Yeah.
why do you feel like it's important for someone to be teachable?
Being teachable is the key to everything. That's what keeps you level. That's what keeps you humble. Being teachable is everything. Like if you carried yourself or you thought about your profession or whatever it is that you do in your life and you knew everything, there was nothing else to show you or nothing else to teach you, what would your life look like? What would be the purpose of you continuing to live? So we learn through experiences. We learn through being teachable and being approachable. So my thing is I always preach about the 3 E's, which is evolving,
Evolving. Okay.
being educated, meaning you can be taught
Okay.
and you're willing to be taught, or you can be an educator, or either one. But it shows that you're open to both. And then of course your energy is everything.
Hmm. Okay,
So
so
when you
repeat those 3 E's again. You said
evolving,
evolving,
educator or educated,
educator, okay,
and energy
and
is
energy.
everything.
Okay.
Hmm.
So let's talk about the energy part of that.
Oh
Because
boy. Okay.
that's really how you and I connected.
It is.
So you interviewed me for Sheen magazine, was it
Yes.
right?
Hmm.
And we just had a vibe, the energy, the interview. It was just amazing. So I was like, okay, I want to turn this around on you. So when you talk about energy and you have entrepreneurs that come to you and they want you to feature them, what are you looking for in their story or to be featured? What exactly are you looking for?
I'm looking for who's open, who's approachable, and also with that person. In For me, energy and your vibe and connection is everything. Like, people tell you all the time that all money is not good money,
Right.
and that's a true statement. I've even had to learn that the hard way in regards to making an investment with ghostwriting for people. Sometimes it's not about the money. They had the money and they were ready, but sometimes their vibe and their energy is just so off. You can tell it's going to be a pull and tug of trying to help
Whew.
them.
Yes. I can't hear you. We lost the sound. Nope. I can't hear you. Okay, guys, can you hear me? Can somebody wave and let me know if you can hear me? Because I need to know if it's her or if it's me. Somebody let me know if you can hear me. Just say, yes, you can hear me. And if you can't, let me know if you can hear her, because I don't know who can hear whom. Okay, so you can hear who? Who can hear who? Phyllis, can you hear me? You can hear her sound, but you can't hear me. Okay, guys, I don't know who you all can hear. So if you can hear Tanya, put Tanya. If you can hear Nikki, put Nikki. Okay, y'all can hear me. So Nikki, we can't hear you. Okay, Nikki, I'm gonna have you go out, and then I'm gonna bring you back in. Let me type to her. Give me 1 second, guys. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, let's see if she comes back in. Give me 1 second and let me see if I can find her and I'll bring her back in, guys. Sorry. It happens. It happens. It happens, guys. Let me see if I can send a request and I'll bring her back in. But girl, we get to the good parts. There we go. Let's see. Can I hear you? Yeah.
Can y'all
There
hear
you
me?
go. There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. Okay. Perfect. Good,
Sorry
good, good.
about that. I don't know what happened. I think when my phone rung, that messed it up.
Oh yeah, that'll happen. Yeah, somebody calls you, that'll happen. Okay.
Yeah.
So we were talking about energy, and I was asking you about what when you're looking for entrepreneurs to tell their stories, what exactly are you looking for?
I'm definitely looking for someone who is approachable, open to learn, and then someone who I love unique and different, weird, people who really in their own lane and they okay with it. They not looking for everybody to co-sign, or they not stuck on followers, or they're not stuck on the things that everybody else is telling them they have to do. They really about and in their own lane. So anyone who's unique, but you can feel and see the passion in them that they do for what they do, that speaks to me so well. And then it's something that I can learn about, which I'm
Right.
always looking forward to. So those are the things that I look for.
Yeah, because I must say, honey, you wrote a hell of an article about me. I read it and I was like, who's she talking about?
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
thank you
Shout out to
so
Phyllis.
much.
I know she in here somewhere.
Yes, she is. Shout out to you. Shout out to Phyllis for connecting it and making it all happen. Okay, so Nikki, all right, you're writing, everything is wonderful, but what do you do when you get writer's block? How do you overcome that?
Oh, writer's block. I step back, and something that I heard a musician say, that I started doing, and it really helped me. Actually it was Eric Roberson. So I don't know if y'all
Yeah,
familiar
we
with,
know Eric.
yeah, Eric, yeah. And one thing that he teaches about writer's block is to go, I'm notorious for going to like parks and open areas just to sit and take in the vibe, take in the air, the scenery, the people, all of that to get me where I need to be so that I can, dedicate myself to the piece. But if you still get to that point where you're like, okay, I just can't seem to write nothing, go through your phone. Don't pick anybody, but whatever names pop up, write the first thing that comes to your mind about that person.
Oh,
And
I
it gets
like
the
that.
juices flowing. And I was like, are you serious? Like that really, but it really works. It really works. Like, don't overthink it. So again, for anybody who's in the house, that's the overthinkers, the perfectionists, it gotta sound right, it gotta look right. That's not what this is about. When you get into writer's block, and it is hard for you to just form a letter or do anything because you're stuck. That is a technique that I have heard him say, and he's taught within one of his groups that he feels has helped people, and it definitely helped me.
I'll
So
have to
I
give it
stick
that.
to it. Anytime I feel it coming on, I just go to my phone, whatever name is there, I just write whatever it is. And Lord, if you want, don't share it. Don't share what you write.
Right,
You
right.
don't know if everybody can receive that. But whatever thoughts come to your mind about that person, just write it. If you feel like you're getting stuck because you're overthinking it, move to the next name. Don't get stuck on that one person, but just go through your list, write down whatever comes to your mind first. You'll be shocked how quickly it gets things going. And then before you know it, you're ready to rock and roll.
I think the issue for people like me, like you mentioned about being a perfectionist, is that I want it done and it needs to make sense and it has to
Yes.
be perfect and all those things. And so when I get stuck, I'm like, I shut down. But
Yep.
I love what you said about getting the juices going, like pick a
Yeah.
name and just write something about that to get the creative juices flowing again. I love that,
Mm-hmm.
Nikki. I love
Yeah.
that. So what is the most rewarding part about writing for you?
To me, because the type of writing I do is unique in the sense that most people call it intuitive writing.
Okay.
I don't care to use that term or say it's intuitive, because you can't explain when you get in front of people and you can tell them about their life or something that happened. It comes from years of studying people and knowing when they look off, or they give you a rehearsed statement or something in that nature, and being able to help them relax and go a little bit deeper so we can really get to what's going on with you or what you really want to relay in your story. um for me, I would have to say that's probably the most rewarding thing, to know that at the end of the journey, you come back and you tell me, wow, I had to read my own story and I was surprised with myself, or I was like, girl, that was you. Or the men like, wow, how did you do that in that part? Or sometimes people are speechless. That is the most rewarding thing to me, to know that I was in the zone for what I'm supposed to be doing, and that my client is beyond happy and satisfied with this story and it's relatable to them. We didn't beef it up. We didn't
Right.
add anything extra. It was, you just gave me exactly like we're doing. We're sitting talking. You just gave me the few pieces that I needed, and then I turned it into what your audience needs to hear.
And you were able to keep their voice while doing
Yes.
it. No,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's beautiful. Okay, so real quick, we have quite a few people in here, and I want to see some of these comments and see if anybody has any questions for Nikki while I have her here. Let me just see what we have going on here. What's your daughter's name?
Kahari.
Kahari Alexa, she's so sweet. She's like, yes, talk your talk, mommy.
Thank you, boo boo.
I love it. I love it. Okay, let's see if I have any. Well, I know Lanny B. the stylist said she has a story to tell. So, Lanny, you may want to get in contact with Miss Nikki so maybe she can help you develop your story.
Okay, Lanny.
Let's see who else we have here. Just a lot of people saying yay and thank you and good information. Okay, Nikki. Okay, so a couple of things. I have a couple more questions before we go. But
Okay.
first, let everybody know where they can find you. So if somebody's looking for a ghostwriter and they want to reach out to you, where can they find you?
I am on Instagram at Energy Chick, INNERG. So it's energy, but spelled differently. Chick, CHIC. So I am on Instagram. And my website is energychick.com.
Okay, so that's energychick.com. Guys, make sure you reach out to her. And also make sure you guys check my website and read her bio on the website at heyladybytanya.com. And it's Tanya with an I. Okay, so last few questions before I let you go, because we're hitting our 30 mark. I always ask everyone, what is your favorite quote?
Ooh, my favorite quote. My favorite quote would have to be, and I don't think there's a known author for it, but when it comes to your creator, whatever you believe in, whether it's the universe, God, or your creator, however you identify with it, the answer is always yes, not right now, or I have something better.
Ooh, I like that.
That is my favorite quote, period, because it takes a lifetime for us to really get down and settle in that, especially when things happen. When things are going well for us, it's always easy to celebrate and say, hey, yay, and be happy. But what about when it was something you really wanted and you just knew, or you felt and you thought it was for you, but it didn't happen? And it still didn't happen in your timetables, in your mind, a little bit later. And then before you know it, something happened, but it was completely different. And it blew your mind. It put you on a different path. That takes a lifetime for us, I feel, to accept that, when it comes to life, and not beat ourselves up about our experiences. So I have come to really appreciate that in my life. Yes, not right now, or I have something better.
I like that. And none of that says no. So that's what I really like about
because
that.
we run from that word, or we are like paralyzed in fear because of that word no. It's like, oh my God, I don't want to do it, or I don't want to apply for this, or I don't want to put myself out there, or whatever the case may be, because what if they tell me no? What if they say no? What if they no? Sometimes you need to hear no.
Right.
Because it was not really what was designed for you.
At that
we spend so much time trying to get on that right path, because we have it in our heads, especially perfectionists, in our heads, how it's supposed to work and how it's supposed to lay out. It was never said that it's not for you or wasn't going to happen. Maybe just not the way you thought you had it designed. So the more you can really get comfortable with, yes, not right now, or I have something better.
Oh, Nikki, you said a word, honey. Oh, I felt that through and through. I needed that for sure.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite quotes. And I did try to find out if somebody altered that, but everything keeps saying unknown. So I don't know who did that one, but I love that quote.
Well, child, you keep it as yours. That's a Nikki thing.
Okay, I'm gonna claim it. I'm gonna claim that one.
Right, claim that one. Okay, What is the best advice ever given to you?
Ooh, the best advice given to me, I feel, when you're dedicated, this is the way it was said, when you're dedicated to evolving, don't be afraid to be used.
Say that again.
When you're dedicated to evolving in life, don't be afraid to be used. So what they meant was, so many times we get used to hearing the word used and we automatically think of the negative side of it. You know, someone taking advantage of us, someone trying to take from us or get from us. But sometimes our creator or God will use you to bless someone else, or something may happen. So when you're on that dedication to evolving, constantly reinventing, transforming yourself, doing what you need, stripping off all the negative energy that we have ourselves sometimes, that you can quickly recognize in others, but you forget to see it in yourself. You know,
Hello.
when you're getting through that, when you're going through all of that, but you're dedicated to evolving, and that's what's keeping you there, so you can constantly keep going and moving. Don't be afraid to be used. That's probably, in my opinion, the best advice I feel that I've been given. And I
Child,
have really seen where it's come to formation for me.
ooh, child, look, if I knew we was gonna go to church tonight,
Oh God, no
girl,
shit. Oh, no, you
Nikki,
didn't.
girl, I was not prepared.
Yeah, that's a favorite of mine that I
Beautiful.
was told. And I did the same reaction when it was told to me. I looked like, what?
Right.
Okay, let me think on that for a minute and come
Yeah,
back.
yeah, because
But
that word used, like you said, it
yeah,
does
you
have a negative
automatically think of the
connotation, but
negative. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Wow. Okay. All right. So last question.
Okay.
We've got somebody that's sitting down and they have this great story that they want to tell and they just don't know where to start. Where should they start, Nikki?
Where should you start? I would start with at least being able to write out as clear as you possibly can, not perfect, the 1 to 3 points that you really want to drive about your book. So if it's your life story, or if it's how you came from this, I hate to say the bottom, or rags to riches, whatever your story may be, like how you came from this and this is where you are now. If you're taking someone through that journey without losing them, it's so many moving pieces to all of our life experiences. You're not there to relate every single thing. So being able to at least pinpoint 1 to 3 points that you really want to bring out about your story and get your readers to remember and be able to apply in their life, that's where I would start. And even if you decide, hey, I want to hire a ghostwriter, or I want to work with somebody because I don't really want to do this myself, at least be able to present, this is what the end goal is. This is what I want to focus on. And from there, they can craft the story.
Okay. Well, your lovely daughter says, Nikki does consultations, guys. So,
Out of control.
I love her. And you got your little walking
Look,
publicist.
she my PR.
Right. I love it. And look, and trust and believe, I will be calling you for a consultation because I need help and I need to stop overthinking it and I just need to complete it.
Yeah, we gotta close out that 10-year gap, mama.
Yes, for sure. All right, Miss Nikki. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for
This
having
evening.
me, man. I
Absolutely.
truly appreciate it. Different seat, and I
Yes.
couldn't have thought of anybody better for it to be
Oh,
with than you.
thank
So
you.
thank you.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. Okay, well, before I let you go, let's go ahead and toast it out. And this time I'm going to
Okay.
make you take a sip.
I am.
Cling, cling. All right, everyone. This has been another edition of Wind Down Wednesday with my featured beautiful lady of the week, Miss Nikki Gillis. Again, Nikki, please tell them where they can find you and your website. Give them that information again.
Okay. I am on Instagram at Energy Chick, INNERGCHIC. Or you can email me. It's Write, so WRITE at energychick.com. Or my website is energychick.com.
All right, guys. Well, there you have it. Thank you guys so much for joining us again for this edition of Wind Down Wednesday. We'll be back next week for another edition with another lady of the week.
Everybody.
All right, y'all. Bye. Bye, Nikki.
Bye,
thank
lady.
you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Y'all
All
have
right,
a great
guys.
evening.
Have a great evening, everyone.
All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.